Welcome back to Truth Moment. Welcome back to Truth Moment. I'm your host, Tiara Pritchett. Now, usually I'll rattle off a list of accolades and titles for my guests, but today I wanted to try something different. So, without further ado, Miss Nikita B. Williams. Who is Nikita B?
Nikita B is an award-winning comedian,
Yes.
inspirational, motivational speaker. I'm your hope dealer and your purpose pusher.
Okay.
That's who I am. If you ask my drunk uncle, he will tell you I'm Googleable.
You're Googleable. Yes, you
I'm
can.
good famous. I am Googleable. Yes, Google me, comedian Nikita B. But I'm also a business and brand strategist for the aspiring and emerging speaker, comedian, and creative entrepreneur.
Okay.
That's who I am.
And I noticed that you, your signature, hope dealer. What is a hope dealer? And where did you get that from?
Well, as a preacher's kid, you know, we used to being around people who are hurting because it's like a hospital except for the spiritual, right? And I know how it feels to feel hopeless and to feel like you don't have a way that is a end all for everything that you're going through. And because I can identify with that, that's what I do. I deal hope. I tell them I'm a nurse as well. You know, I'm a whole lot of things. A wife, a mother of six, a nurse. My God. You
Wow,
know?
mother of six.
Yeah, pray for me. So that's what I do. I tell them I deal dope by day, hope by night. That's what I do.
Very good, very good. So, okay, you have this individual who does a laundry list of things. So at what point were you, telling jokes and then say, I could actually make this a career?
Actually, I stumbled across it. When I lost my mom to breast cancer in 2010, like I said, I'm a preacher's kid. So I knew about prayer. I knew about believing in God. I knew about all these things. But what do you do when you do all of those things and you still don't get the results that you were looking for? Right. So I said, as a nurse, physically, emotionally, spiritually, when you drain, it equals depression. I didn't want my dad to go down that route. A lot of people think, okay, you saved, you don't go through that kind of stuff, but that's not so. Sometimes you need prayer as well as a pill.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we planned a comedy show, and I actually hired other comedians to come in. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get on stage. I'm going to dress up. I'm going to just act up just to see my daddy smile. And when I got off stage, they was like, can I get your booking information? I said, I didn't know I was bookable. I did not know. She was like, just do what you did here. But see, at the time, I was dressed up in like a costume or whatever. And my name was Sister Eminem. Okay. But you pronounce it, Okay. Right? And I was like, I'm not wearing this in public. I did it one time. And then after that, I went like to the local comedy club and standing ovation. Then I invited like 80 people out the next time. Standing ovation. He was like, Nikita, you brought half the club. Don't invite anybody and let's see if you can do this again. Did it again, same results.
Wow.
It was so much in demand that it started pulling me from my normal 9 to 5. I was a director of nursing. Okay. 6-figure income. And I was like, look, somebody failed. Okay, well, do this and then I'm going to call you back when I get off stage. It was interfering. And then I felt the pull. I felt fulfilled when I was on stage, and I felt like I was just existing when I was doing other things. Okay. So I was like, all right, God, if this is what I'm supposed to be doing, let's make it do what it do. He said, your gift make room for you. It started making room, and then these rooms came checked. So I was like, that's it, And that's how it started.
Okay, you said some really powerful things, and I just want to echo the fact that a lot of times Christians feel like if I just pray about it, then it's gonna be okay. Right. So was this the way Nikita always was, that therapy could benefit you, or were you typically we're gonna pray about it and then we're gonna leave it at the altar, so to speak?
Exactly right. I was a prayer. Okay. Prayer, a worshiper, a believer. we was raised in the homes where what goes on in this house stays in this house. Don't you be out there telling people your business. That's the insight you got about therapy. Right. And that was it. Right. Don't you go and take no pills. All right, you're going to be on that stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's the way it was until I became a nurse.
Okay.
Until I became a nurse to the believers, to the ones where, don't get me wrong, believe in him because he is a healer. Believe and trust in him because he'll do anything but fail. But he also said, if you sick, go seek a physician.
Yeah.
He didn't advise you to go seek the physician and say, okay, I heard you, but never mind. Lord, what else? He gave you your what else.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you have to have something else to balance you. You have to have something so you can be your best self. It doesn't mean that it'll always be that way, but you need to preserve yourself, you know? So, it made me think of things different. A believer is the hardest patient I've ever had to deal with.
Oh, yours too? Oh, my goodness.
Non-compliant.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Oh, I know what he said. I ain't taking these pills for my blood pressure. I'm drinking vinegar. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Yes. Yeah, like you limp on your whole left side. I need you to take this blood pressure medicine. Yeah. You know, I ain't claiming this sugar diabetes. I'm going to trust in the Lord. I'm going to stand on his word. You ain't got no feet. You can't stand. I mean, I need you to take this insulin. That's what I need to happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a balancing thing. The older generation, you almost just got to go in there in prayer, touch and agree with them because they're not going to do it. They're not going to budge. But now people are saying for longevity, for you to live a prosperous life, you just got to be obedient to wise counsel.
Okay. And you spoke about losing your mother to breast cancer. How has that changed you, losing your mom? Because in this episode, it's entitled From Pain to Purpose. Mm-hmm. So how did you, Nikita B, find your purpose almost at the point to where that incident could have broken you or placed you in a place where you are today? So how?
Honestly, it broke me.
Okay.
It absolutely did because when you praying for a thing and you believing in the thing, you trust in him, that you're going to answer my prayer. You know, you're going to give me the desires of my heart. Yeah. And then she passed away. What do you do then? And it was a moment when I was asking why. And this went on for like 3 months. And I felt myself going to a dark place. And just clear as it could be, he said, I heard your prayer, but I answered hers. Baby.
That's good.
Talk about crying your eyelashes off.
That is good.
My God, that right there, it released me. Because I thought he wasn't listening. Yeah. It released. Then I was able to play back the times where she got no rest because she was in so much pain. How she used to cry out because she didn't want to be in the position she was in. Yeah. The gorgeous woman to debilitate down to a frame.
Yeah.
And not look like the woman we call mama. Not look like the wife that my dad married. I mean, it was just heartbreaking. Yeah. And it broke me down because the enemy, he knows that your mind is a battleground. Yeah. Those are the pictures that he kept showing me. That's what he wanted to get in my spirit. But then God allowed me to see her in the light that she was in. Allowed me to hear the things that she used to encourage me by saying. And I was able to, of course, I had to pray because I felt like that I was going to lose it, man. Yeah. I just did because you feel unraveled. Yeah. And when I went through that and then I did the comedy and people would come to me after a show and say, I just lost my mom. And I didn't think I would be able to laugh again. I didn't think that I would be able to go through. But to see you on stage and to see you talk about it and talk about the funny things that does go on, I can relate. And to see you move on, it gives me hope. Thus the hope, devil. Yeah. That's where all of that came from. So that's how I knew that I was in the vein of purpose. Because your purpose is meant to be of purpose for someone else. We think it's for us. It ain't for us. It's to magnify him.
Absolutely.
But to serve others. So that's how that thing played out. And that was my therapy. That was where I could leave it all there on stage. Be able to build up other people and release these things that was going on within me to be able to go on another day.
Okay. And so you have this transition in your life to where your gift is causing you to be high in demand. Mm-hmm. At what point did Nikita B look at it and say, they really like me. Yeah. They really think I'm good. Mm-hmm. At what point did that occur? And then was it still very surreal for you?
It was, and it took 2 years.
Okay.
It took mind you, within the first year, I gave my resignation as a director of nursing to do it full time. But it was a whole another year after that it finally set in that, you know what, I'm all right with this thing. You know, a BET Celebration of Gospel, being able to go and do that, being able to go and be in front of like well-known artists and other people who've been in the game for quite some time to tell you, hey, you better come with your game if you're going up behind that one. You know, just things like that just gave you that reassurance and gave you like that, okay, you know, and even till this day, I still feel overwhelmed sometimes when certain opportunities come. When you get a phone call and they telling you, one of the main people from the Preachers of Detroit wants you to come and do her anniversary celebration. You like, what? Yeah. Yes, you know. So those things still excite me. Yeah, they still excite me.
Okay, so ironically, you're hilarious and you provide people with a lot of laughter, but you take your movement very serious.
I do.
Which is the bias movement.
Yeah.
So please tell my audience about the bias movement.
The bias movement, bias because I am somebody. Okay. Right? So this is a personal development movement. This is something that is to be overpowering, to overtake all of the foolishness that you have convinced yourself is true. A lot of times we take somebody else's opinion or what somebody else says about us, and we internalize it as it being true. Yeah. So all the lies you've heard, all of the you'll never be's you've heard, you're not good enough that you heard, all of that crap, no, we squashed that in the bias movement because I went through low self-esteem. I went through depression. I went through all of these negative factors that is not of Christ, that will stop you from pursuing your purpose. And my mom always would tell me, she called me Skeeter. Skeeter, why is you doing that? Why you feel that? I said, I don't know. And then they said, she was like, no, ma'am. No. She said, you can do it because you are somebody. Yeah. Right? She used to always tell me that. And one day, trying to sleep but couldn't, 3 a.m, I could hear her voice clear as day. And she was like, I don't know where you get this from, but this ain't my daughter. Don't you forget, you are somebody. And I wrote on a piece of paper on my nightstand, because I am somebody. And that morning, something was like, circle the first letter in each of those words. And when I did, it spelled the word bias. I looked up bias, you know, to be chosen over, picked over, prejudice, all these kind of things. And then it just made so much sense. Somebody else get picked for a job and you know you was qualified. Yeah. You in a relationship that took you down through there, and then y'all break up, then they go and act like they got some sense with somebody else. You like, really? You know, it's always something that's making you feel some kind of way, making somebody be biased towards you. I said, I'm going to take this negative thing, turn it around, make it something positive, and then we're going to keep it moving. That's why I put the movement by it too, because you can't stand still in purpose. It's impossible.
That's good.
If you stand still in purpose, what is your purpose? Right. You understand? Right. Like it doesn't go together. So that's what the bias movement is. It's for the ones who to believe in themselves again, to believe in your ability, for you to understand who you really are and whose you are. Because it's all a mindset. I tell them at the bias movement, we change the lives one mindset at a time. Okay. That's our whole mission. If you change your mind, you can change your life. It's really that simple.
Very true. Our thoughts shape a lot of who we are. So even looking back, if you didn't have that mother to say, no, you are somebody, so you can do it, it would be difficult for you to feel like you could. It would be difficult for you to have gotten through, and it's still a process. The grieving process is just that, you know, and I noticed you got a little emotional when you were talking about Mom, because I'm sure there are times where you feel like, man, I wish you were here.
Yesterday.
You know she speaks. You know she speaks to you, but still wishing that she would be backstage hearing you speak.
Absolutely.
You know, and so the way we speak to our children, it becomes their inner voice. And I think that couldn't be a more beautifully said example of hearing your mother say, what are you doing here? I've been telling you for a long time. You know, and so to tell people from self-esteem issues that, you know, you have a purpose. We all have a purpose. We've all been brought here for a reason. And so no matter what we go through, when we go through it, it's for somebody else.
That's right.
And it's for a movement.
That's right.
So the bias movement, there's a movement. What do you do? How do you speak to these people to get them to line up in purpose and in position?
Well, one of the biggest things with the bias movement is I'm on Periscope. I'm on Periscope. Start doing Facebook Live. Like, I'm known for my videos. So even though they're comical, I always make a point. Yeah. One of my coaches always told me, named Jack Daniels, Marshawn Daniels, they are beasts. The Confidence Business School. Okay. He said, Nikita, never tell a story without making a point. Never make a point without telling a story.
I like
right?
that.
So by doing that, I'm able to not only identify the issue, but then I tell them, my audience, how I went through that issue, and then how I came through. So I do that. They call it for the free 99, of course. So you put that out there. That's ministry. Yeah. You serve the people. You let them know that they can do it. You build them up. And then they go from ministry to industry, because then you have other paid products that you can invest in, because it's a mindset too. People that don't invest in themselves, they're not at a place where they need to be yet mentally to know that it requires investment. You know, self-care, self-investment, those are the two best things you can ever do, right? So rather it's through one of the coaching programs, rather it's through one-on-one mentorship, rather it's through one of the products that we have different things for the individual's need. Somebody may just need mindset prep. They got it going on with everything else, but they just got to stay focused. Somebody else, they may need a plan. Like, Nikita, I'm confused. I don't know what to do. I'm a creative. So usually all the creatives are attracted to me. You attract who you are and who you used to be.
Right.
You remember
That's
that.
so true.
You attract who you are and who you used to be. So even in life, when you get to a certain point, you may attract who you used to be. The only time it bothers you, if you still dipping into who you used to be.
That's good.
That's
good.
There you go. It's like you see people real dressed up, and then you see a drunk come to them. They be like, "Go!" You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, you still tapping the bottle though, because if not, it wouldn't bother you. Yeah. You could give them a word. $2 is usually what they asking for, and they'll keep it moving. You know what I mean? So that's what bias movement does, though. Is get your mind right. Okay. And when you get your mind right, your pockets will follow. Yes.
Okay, so you're a female comedian in this male-dominated industry. Yeah. How does that go over with you? I mean, you're very confident, so how does it go over with, having to play with some of the big boys?
Yeah, well, first, I'm almost 6 feet tall, like my granddaddy say, flat-footed. So I'm going to have to be confident anyway. Yeah. So I make sure that... And my mom is her again. She was always like that. She said, I don't care if you got 35 cents in your pocket. You go in there like you own the establishment. Always be approachable, but look like you can buy everything in the store, even if you know you don't need to touch nothing. You know what I mean? And then my husband is my personal stylist. So when I tell you, when we step out, we steps out. Yes, they ain't got to know you right off the dollar menu before you got there. What you see is this, right? Because it's an internal thing. Yeah. And that's what people have to know. And then I'm a clean comedian, so that's different. And they're shocked that you can be this funny and not vulgar. Yeah. But as a female comedian, it's important to stand out, because it's easy to go in and it's easy to use vulgarities and all these other things. I used to be on the cussing ministry, you know what I'm saying? But God. So don't do that part no more, and you're more marketable. It looks better. It presents better. It's still nerve-wracking, though, when you go in a room, you're the only female, and you almost like stay in the office because they don't know whether to hug you or pound you, because no disrespect, all this kind of stuff. It's kind of awkward sometimes, but then my mindset has to be, Nikita, you come here to serve the people. Stand and deliver. Don't let who else is on stage or on the itinerary intimidate you, because it's easy to happen sometimes, because you have heavy hitters. You just have to be confident in who you are, stay focused, and be authentic, and it'll work out.
Very well said. Very well said. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after this commercial break with the wonderfully hilarious, hope-dealing, purpose pusher, Miss Nikita B. Williams. Welcome back to Truth Moment. Okay, so Miss Nikita B. I mean, you have a movement, the bias movement. You're a comedian, you're a mother, you are an entrepreneur, you're also a philanthropist. So with all of these hats, how do you keep everything straight? Because she mentioned, she's a nurse. So you offer medicine through laughter and then medicine pharmaceutically.
Right.
So how do you keep everything straight?
This is what I do. You have to learn to how do they say it?
Compartmentalize?
You better do it. How many syllables was that? Compartmentalize.
Right.
Yes. She read books, God. Yes. You have to do that. We're in the country, we just say you got to set your stuff in order. Okay. Yes, that's what you have to do in those compartments that you mentioned. But this is the thing. I can't do all of it by myself.
Yeah.
If you try to do everything, you end up accomplishing nothing. Right. When it comes to the healthcare businesses, my husband is the spearhead over that. Like, we collaborate together, but we build a team. Even with the comedy and the bias movement, I have a branding team. I have a branding manager. I have a business coach. So I have people that can help me keep Nikita straight. Because even when I talk to my clients and even when I talk to other people, I tell them, look, you are wonderful, I know. You have many of great ideas, I know, but you need to do one and stick with it. Because, check it out, people know me as the comedian.
Right.
The other things are just appendages of that I have opportunity to build on now because I set my platform as the comedian.
Right.
So no matter where I go or what I do, they know me as the comedian. I just so happen to do this, and this too.
Right.
So the big thing is having you a team, having things, hire your weakness. If you can't do a thing,
good.
Hire somebody to do it. The problem is we want somebody, well, you remember I did that for you. You ought to do this right here for me. That's not operating in purpose. Everybody has a purpose. What if that other person that you need to hire, their purpose is to assist you? Because remember, your purpose is for somebody else.
Yeah.
What if their purpose is to build their own brand and business with the services that they're rendering to you, and you're going to be the one to start them off? What if?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I need a team. My husband just told me last night, he was like, girl, you're complicated. He was like, we got to get a strategy. Yeah. So strategies are king in our house. Having a plan, write the vision, make it plain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you make it plain, assign these duties to people, especially if you know you don't do as well as the other person.
Right.
So that's how I do it. It would be impossible for me to be able to do all these things myself. I focus on being funny. I focus on encouraging and motivating people, and I focus on building people up. That's my focus. Okay.
So you spoke of nursing businesses. You said you're a nurse, but what businesses are you talking about?
I was a director of nursing. I came out of that with the comedy, right? But because I was doing such a phenomenal job, they was like, Nikita, okay, if you don't come full time, consult for us. We'll do a contract with you. A contract turns me on. It's just exciting. I was like, yes. Yeah. So that's what I started doing. And then I could do that or not, and it wouldn't interfere with my dates. Then we have family care homes. And now our big goal is to have assisted living. It's for the underprivileged, treating family like our very own. That's what we do. Wow. The Emmanuel House Assisted Living, right? So my husband and I, we spearhead that. We have a home health care business. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Alternative home health care service. We ain't playing. He said, we were created to create wealth. That's what he does. A lot of people say, well, they doing too much. Why? Because you doing nothing?
Right.
You understand? And you don't have to be the face of everything. That's another thing we struggle with. We want everybody to know, this mine. Yep, I'm doing this. It's not necessary. Because I don't want to have streams of income. Streams stop. They dribble. They dry up. But a river, baby, we have rivers. Yes, rivers, baby. Yes. We stay fluid. Always moving, Yeah. So that's what we do. But we have some people, they are determined to keep family at home. We have a service for that. Okay. Some people, they can't help it. They don't have a home. We have a home prepared for you. You know what I mean? So we fit the need. You got to find the problem and you be their solution. So that's what I did.
Okay. Yes. A lot of things.
Yes.
A lot of things. And so many that people don't even know about.
Right.
Because, like you said, the comedy is the major hat that you wear. Okay. So what does Nikita do when negativity because it's comedy. So you're allowing yourself to be placed on a platform where people can critique and make, have their opinions, make judgments. So what do you do to stop negative self-talk? I mean, I think which is important with the bias movement, because it's important for people to know that they need self-esteem. Yeah. And then it comes about the way that they feel about themselves. Right. So what does Nikita do when negative talk is around her and she's just trying to live in her purpose?
That's right. And it will happen. And it will happen even more when you are in your purpose. That's the way it does. The enemy foolish. He knows how to play the games with you, right? So when I have negative talk around me, the thing that, for one, I disassociate myself with it, because you don't have to entertain it. You don't have to accept every invitation to entertain foolishness. Some stuff you can just ignore. Everything does not deserve a response. I tell my children that. And when you know who you are, when they say, well, she's not funny, and then I go and I look at things where people sent me messages and talk about how hilarious I was. The things that people say negative about me, I go and find other affirming things that says the complete opposite. Well, that won't last long, and then they'll end up having to do something else. And then I say, well, he told me I was going to be the lender and not the borrower. Is that what he said? Okay, God, So I always find something else to offset that, and have an accountability partner. Okay. It is necessary, because you want to give up sometimes. You want to throw in the towel. You throw in the towel, the accountability partner catch it and bring it back here, wipe your face and wipe your tears. Let's get focused. What's wrong with you? Yeah. Let's go eat something. I love to eat. I don't look like it, but I love to eat. You hear me? Yes. So that's what I do. Then having a conversation with my husband. And of course, you're going to always pray. Have a spiritual advisor. Just so happens to be my daddy. That's my pastor, So I have to go deep. Spiritually, mentally, psychologically, all of those things, man. Rather I look at something that's uplifting. And I love music. And all of it is not going to be Shirley Caesar, okay? I love music. I love feel-good music. It put me in a better place. You can play it. You got a different mood and move on. That's what I have to. And sometimes I just have to cry. Or sometimes, like a baby that's whining, I need a nap. So that's what I do. I do whatever is necessary for me to be able to keep going. That's what I do.
Does that happen often?
Too often.
Okay.
Just to be honest. It happens on a monthly basis. Why? Because I'm a complex person. I'm a creative. And whenever you are putting other people's lives, you feel that energy. Yeah. You do. Yeah. Spirit recognize spirit. Plenty of times where I was like, okay, Lord, let me just tell jokes and keep it moving. Yeah. I'll give them some purpose messages from the stage, God. But it's not for me. Not my will, let your will be done. So I'm like, okay, I got to keep it moving. So that's how I was able to even balance too. Who will I work with? Who will I deal with? I have to deal with the people who have the mindset that I want to invest in myself. I want more. I know that there's more in me, but I just don't know how to do it. Those are the people that I go after. Anything else is ministry.
Yeah. And you're writing a book, right?
Yes.
What is this book about?
Baby, let me tell you something. The name of this book is How to Beat the F Out of Fear. Yes, I'm trying to get churches to let me do a tour, honey. Let me make the announcement. Yeah. Can you imagine how they'll look? And we were all to announce that she got a book, How to Beat. Wait a minute.
Yeah. But pearls clutched and everything.
Get out of here. That kind of thing. No, but this is the thing. I like to title things so that it's a conversation piece. I like to title things to get your attention. Because some people, you can't get their attention unless you snatch them. That snatches you. My dad, the pastor. I was like, Dad, I got the book. Oh, good job, sweet baby. What's the name of it? I said, How to Beat the F Out of Fear. My. And I was like, Dad, it's not an F-bomb. Yeah. But if you think about it, if you remove the F out of fear, what do you have left? You have ear. The biggest thing, people don't pursue their purpose. They don't do what they need to do. They're not in alignment because they have believed something that they have heard. Yeah. Not seen, something somebody told you. So what are you listening to and who are you listening to? Good. You have to beat the F out of fear. Nikita. Then you got the word ear, E. You have to evaluate. Yeah. If it's not any good for you, get rid of it. You have to assess and take action. That's what you have to do to walk in purpose. It's an action word. Then I need you to reproduce. If it worked, do it again. That worked, do it again. Yeah. Reproduce. You understand? So faith, comes by hearing by the word of God. You hear with your ears.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's channels where we ain't got to get all
See, that she gonna try to be a nurse. Yeah,
you
trying to be a nurse.
Yeah. But that's what happens.
Yeah.
So when you replace one F word with the other, because I used to use other F words, you understand?
But God. Oh, same time.
Yes. You replace fear with faith.
Yeah.
Baby, let me tell you something. Fear and faith cannot operate in the same space. It's impossible. We don't serve a bipolar God.
Yeah.
He's the same always, today, yesterday, tomorrow, forevermore. Yeah. We don't want to get in there happy, sad, crying, get confirmation, need reconfirmation. Now we done confuse ourselves and wonder where God at. Yeah. He is where you left him with your confused behind. You understand? So when you increase faith, fear decreases.
Yeah.
And you have to what? Walk out on faith. You have to pursue. I tell people to stop faking it till you make it. Faith it until you make it. That's what you have to do. Yeah. So that is the whole premise of the book. You got to beat fear, babe. You got to beat fear. You got to increase your faith, and you have to keep it moving. In the book, I talk about different types of fear, how you can address it, how I addressed it, and how I got through it. Mm-hmm. So it'll give you insight. So when you read it, you will see something different. Put something different in your eye gate. Listen to something different. Understand that fear is the devil's it's his opportunity to confuse you. It's his opportunity to confirm a lie in your life. So if you're ready to step out on faith, you got to beat the F out of fear, baby. That's what you got to do.
That title is amazing.
Anybody who want to step in their purpose, they better get it.
And I think, too, because Nikita's the type of comedian to where even though she's clean, she's still edgy.
Come on.
Got the edge.
Come on.
You know, you so to be us, girl, you know I know. You know I know.
Edges on
so to say that you're going to beat the F out of fear, it's going to raise eyebrows. Like, Lord, Nikita trying to get to the edge of cursing without cursing.
She done fell off.
Right.
Backslide.
But then it's not even about that at all.
Not even about.
You have to open up your ears.
Come on.
When you take that F away, then you have your ears so you can hear. Mm-hmm. And you can actually listen to what your purpose is. And I want to step further on that when you said that faith will get you to. And what's so important about faith is you only operate with hope as it pertains to faith.
That's right.
To say that I hope something will happen, there's a tiny bit of, but what if it doesn't?
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of that negativity there to where there's a chance that there's some doubt there. Yeah. But when you have faith with expectation,
come on,
you know it's going to. You're saying, I know the past says this might not happen, but I'm expecting it to.
Come on.
And so I'm going to walk in my purpose in that expectation so that God is going to, I already know he is. Because the word says that the future that he's seen is his past. So it's my future, but it's his past. So you walking in this thing, and then you have this 90-day challenge that allows people to go from cloudy to clarity. What is that?
Okay, this is the D3 formula, right? It is a group VIP intensive coaching program. So it's from cloudy to clear in 90 days. Because things that I do know is the first stage of pursuing your purpose is getting clear. A confused mind does absolutely nothing.
Right.
But as my business coach would tell us, clarity equals cash. And then I also work with Mia Redrick, a beast. She's the mom coach. She has this business life balance thing that she goes through in the program that we're in, which is perfect for the first D, which is discovery. Discover your possibilities. Discover the things that you're great at. You have gifts, you have talents. And what do you need to use in order for you to pursue your purpose? The discovery phase. That's what you go through in that. You have to get clear first. So when you get clear on this thing, you go to the second D. You have to develop it. It means nothing if you don't develop it. You have to develop it with the tools and strategies that you need to reach the people that you set out to reach.
Right.
It leads you to the third D. That's why you got D3, right?
Yeah.
Which is delivery. It does you no good to have all of these things and you don't implement. It does you no good to say you hungry, you fix your plate, put it in front of you, you just look at the food. It does you no good to have somewhere to go. You sit in the car, you turn the car on, but you never put it in drive. Right. It does you absolutely no good. So that's why the program is from cloudy to clear in 90 days, because we do this thing in 90 days. You come in confused, plenty of ideas, not knowing where to start, to being clear, being concise, and getting that cash, baby. That's what we do. Yes.
Okay.
That's what we do.
Have a plethora of things going on.
Yes.
And I could not be more proud of you. Some new ones that just came along since I've known you. Yeah. So I'm absolutely proud of you. And in this episode of Truth Moment, we talk about how your pain has propelled you into your purpose, to where you could have very easily been comfortable in your career. But you knew, because it was almost as though you said, you know, my mom's suffering and her healing with God taking her home, wasn't just for me to sit back and say, I'm hurting. It's what am I going to do with this hurt? That's right. And so, Nikita, even though it's through comedy, you are inspiring tons of people. And not just women. I want to really speak to that. It's not just the women. The bias movement is for people. That's you know, what is holding you back from allowing you to be the you that God has purposed you to be? What have you gone through in your life that is stopping you from getting to where you're supposed to go to? And so with the bias movement and the book, absolutely, the book will be on sale when?
April 1st.
April 1st. Yes. Now, it's not an April Fool's joke. It really will be out on April 1st. Yes. I'm going to get my copy.
Get it.
I am. I'm going to get my copy because I'm going to find out how to beat the F out of fear.
Come on.
Because even with the TV show and radio and all of those things, we still have times where we're like, God, are you sure this is what you want me to do? Or is this just what I want to do?
Right.
And if it's that thing that is causing you to stay awake at night and you're getting so much feedback to where you're seeing it's life-changing for people outside of yourself, to where it comes easy for you. Telling jokes comes easy for you.
That's right.
But it does more to people than just having them laugh momentarily and then they go and never think about it again.
That's right.
They think about things that you've said on stage and they say, you know, man, you know, if I would have looked at it like this, then maybe the outcome would have been differently.
Different, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm so thankful that you came on Truth Moment today. Do you have anything you would like to say to the audience before we close?
I like to tell all of you to know whose you are, know who you are, know that you are somebody. Yes. I want you guys to make sure that you copy. That's what my kids would say.
Plug
you copy on April 1st. I intentionally did it on April Fool's Day. You know why? Because we have allowed a lot of foolish people to instill foolish things on the inside of us. But now it's time to break that mold. It's time for you to beat the F out of fear. When you say F, I want you to do your head like this and go like that. That's what I want you to do.
And then throw it back.
And throw it back, please. You got to mean this thing, right? But I want you to stay encouraged. I want you to know that if God can take me from public assistance to public success, He can do the same with you. Maybe you're not on public assistance, but maybe your mentality is. Your mentality is locked up. Your mentality is in bondage, and you're not able to pursue your purpose because of you. When I tell you, when I released fear and I was able to move forward, there was nothing more liberating, and it builds your confidence. You're going to have naysayers, probably in your family.
Yeah.
Because the enemy knows if he works through a stranger, it's not going to affect you. You don't know them people. But the people that you love, the people that you know, they're not going to understand you, and be okay with that. Because even when a person don't understand you, it may not be that they don't love you. They only can understand you to their capacity. You have up level. So it's okay. You don't have to forget where you came from, but it doesn't mean you have to stay there either. So I want you guys to stay focused. I want you to stay motivated. Holler at your girl. The Bias Movement. Go check us out. You need help? Holler at your girl. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. You don't have to stay that way. If you're ready to move, you're ready to shake, hey, let's shake something. Not for real, but you know what I'm saying. Like.
Right, definitely. So, Truth Moment audience, what's stopping you from being you? What's stopping you to... we so easily say the you that God sees, but it goes beyond that. It's the you that the enemy sees. Because if he didn't see your potential for your purpose, he wouldn't be on you as tough as he is, trying to get you to break away from your faith, what has you held bondage. So it's not even solely the you that God sees or the you that you don't see. It's even the you that the enemy sees. So I'm Tiara Pritchett. This is the lovely Mrs. Nikita B. Williams. This is Our Truth. What's yours?